Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to today's video. This one's a little bit more of a unique video for me because this was something that I've been planning to do for months and months on end, and I finally accomplished it within the last couple days. That big project is vinyl wrapping my entire car. So for reference, my car that I drive and I wrapped is an INFINITI Q50 Sport. For those of you that have seen my car a little bit on this channel, now you're going to see it from a whole new perspective, a new color. I did wrap the car in Cosmic Blue by 3M, and everything that I'm going to show you going forward is going to be just some documentation of the whole process. Not maybe the whole process, but a lot of snippets of just how the whole process went. I did the car all by myself in a one-car garage, which was super cramped, by the way. I'm not sure I recall correctly, but I'm sure I made that as a complaint while I was working of just how difficult it is. Keep in mind that this is the first time also that I've ever wrapped a full car. I've done chrome deletes and little minor things like that, but this is on a whole nother scale, wrapping an entire car, learning curve across the board. So you'll of course see some mistakes. I point out some mistakes that I made, which I plan on redoing sometime in the future. I'm kind of taking a hiatus for the moment of wrapping because that was just one of the most challenging projects I've ever done before. As far as time goes, luckily we landed on Memorial Day weekend where I got an extra day off for my job, and I took an additional 2 days of PTO just again to finish this car. All in all, it took me about 6, maybe 7-ish days to, again, finish the wrap, put the whole car back together, and then, of course, inspect any minor details and then put on like the badges, emblems, any add-on cosmetics like the trunk spoiler and the rear diffuser, and some of the fender flare parts that I also got on the car. So all of that took anywhere from 30 to 35 plus hours in total and over a span of 6 to 7 days. There were days where I was working probably anywhere from 5 to 7 hour increments. Anywhere between that, I would say maybe actually 4 to 7 hours, somewhere in that range. But anyway, this was kind of my battle and my just dream come true in this one video. So I hope you guys enjoy. Again, understand that it's not perfect. There's some, little areas where it could use improvements. I tried calling those out in this video. So I'm just super satisfied that I managed to do all this by myself in my crazy working environment that, I had with this one-car garage. So I hope you enjoy, and let me know your thoughts on the color. Let me know if, you see something where I could have done something better and I may have maybe missed it. I'm definitely open to feedback. I'll have pictures with some commentary, and then of course the final product at the end of the video that you'll get a chance to see. So hope you guys do enjoy this, and let's just get right to it. With the removal of the front bumper, basically it's just 10mm bolts and clips. There's two 10mm bolts with little wings on the top, then a bunch of clips towards the middle of the grill, the top of the grill, of course, some 10mm bolts and clips in the wheel wells, and then the undershroud of the bumper. From there, you just kind of grab it firmly and then just pull back, and it should end up unclipping. Just do it carefully, of course. So I'm in the process now of taking the door handles off. I just started with the rear, just for reference. It seems like most of the doors, or actually all of the doors, are the same. You're gonna get this little piece here where basically all you need to do is remove it from here, and then you're going to expose a torque bolt there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that undone real quick, and then you'll see me just pull that piece out at the end here and then slide the door handle off. So I'm going to just save you the time and not watch me untighten this, so I'll show you afterwards. Alright, so I untighten the bolt so you can see it there. As far as the Allen key that I use, because you do need an Allen key for reference, it's the 532 right there. That's going to be the size that you need for that particular bolt. So as you can see, here's kind of what it looks like. The bolt just kind of sits in. Once you take it out, this piece just comes right out like so. Here's the bolt sticking out itself, you can see. Again, it looks like there's kind of like a little fail-safe thing holding the bolt, like a plastic piece. So you don't have to worry about it falling into the door, which was kind of my issue there. But now, first time taking these off, so I'm trying to adjust this camera, sorry. Alright, sorry about that. So yeah, anyway, first time taking these off, so I'm gonna go ahead now and just I'm accidentally, so there we go. So I don't know why the hell is this fuzzy, sorry. I guess I'm too white, camera can't contrast properly. So then take it out and it just comes out like so. I'm going to do it a little clearer because I don't know why I'm brighter than the light here. But anyway, that's the rear one there. Alrighty, so same situation here with the front door. I loosened up the Torx bolt. Again, you can kind of see that fail-safe that I was talking about in there. There's like a little black piece. I would still be very careful to not get too crazy when you're using the Allen key to spin this thing out, just to avoid it. So you just wiggle this out and it should start slowly coming out. This one is the one with the what's it called, the electronics. So I'm gonna take a look at that, and then this one has of course the key as well. So I'm just gonna kind of pull the main one out here. So again, you kind of slide it back. I'm sorry if it's kind of all over the place. I'm gonna try to lock this contrast thing in here because it's just losing its mind right now. Alright, so popped out, and then you kind of just wiggle it just a tad. Again, not easy. And actually, I just don't wiggle it too much because there is wiring there. So I'm going to take a look at that just to see what I can do. I do see a screw in there, so I'm sure it's simple as just undoing that screw to take it out. And then same thing here, I'm going to figure out what to do here. So I'll touch back in a bit here. Alright, so these door handles definitely were a pain. The rear ones, just easy as can be. Take the bolt out, take the little end piece off, and then slide the door handle out. The front ones are different just because there are lights underneath the door handles, so you do need to take the entire door panel off and then the metal cover to expose the glass. And then behind the glass there's the little plugs to unplug the light to then pull out the door handle. So this one was a bit tricky. Alright, my god, this was a ultimate pain in the ass to get this out, but I got it. As far as the lock, I'm just going to try to wrap around it and then just cut through it. Since the profile is pretty small, it's not going to be terrible. I'll be able to still get it to look pretty good, but let me just tell you, to take the front door handles off, you need to take all this off, plus the metal covering that conceals the glass and the rest of the mechanism. So to do that, to pull the door off, you're gonna have to take the screw off that's there, and then a 10mm that's in the door, and then everything else is on clips. It just pops right out. But geez, just for one door handle, that was definitely a headache. So basically you just repeat the same steps on the other side essentially to get it out. So again, like I said, part of the battle was a lot of debadging and taking off accessories. So the residue after 2 years on that trunk lip and about a year's worth of wear on the diffuser, I got those off, cleaned the area, made sure that I got as much residue off, and then I also pulled off the badges as well. So the INFINITI main badge on the trunk was definitely a pain. That was all OEM, so that just was a whole fight as is. I removed the license plates as well, just again so it's a clean back end on the car. Then from there I basically started just disassembling everything. Got the taillights taken out. I had to basically pull back a lot of the stuff behind the taillights to unplug them, and then pull the taillights slowly. And then also had to twist the lights out of the taillights. So again, I wrapped them in masking tape to not lose them or break them. And then you can basically see there are the taillights there. And then the covering that I had to pull back to get those. Got the taillights out. So a couple of the bolts again on the front. More so just clips. Took the liner out. Just wrapped up the light and wires. Again, just making sure that they don't get lost or torn or anything like that. And again, kind of the outside there. So these things are a little tricky because you have, let me see, where are they? You have a prong here, prong there, and then the plastic one here. So there's essentially 3 points. So you kind of have to grab this thing with 2 hands and lightly tug. So it's a little tricky, but I got them. All right, got the rest of the lights off. You can see the liner there, so I had to take that off to take all of this off here. Had to actually loosen up parts of the chrome trim as well to get these to come out from underneath. But now it's ready to go. I can finally have this piece prepped up and start wrapping the back trunk. It's looking good so far. Alright, so this was the point of no return, and funny enough, the very first sheet and first part I did was for the hood. And of course, the first piece I cut wrong by 1 inch. So, like I said, I'm learning as I go when I wrap this thing. So that was like the very first mistake. This was the second sheet, so I got it basically hung together with the magnets just to kind of check it for fitment. And from there I got it again shaped and molded, contoured, squeegeed, everything to basically have it turn out like the final product that you're seeing. So it came out pretty good. I definitely dealt with a lot of bubbling issues with the 3M vinyl. It ended up adhering just fine, but I noticed like you get these little trapped air bubbles where if you're wearing like a glove or something, it'll even out, no problem. And then that'll kind of just give you a better angle of some of the cuts that I made. You can kind of see that angle piece there is looking pretty good. So I have some video, of course, getting even more up close in detail. Alright, so got the hood done and the driver's side fender. For a first time wrapping a car, not gonna lie, I didn't think I could do it this well. I mean, just to kind of give you an idea, like here's just some up close action here. And then under the wheel too. Coming all the way down to where that part of the fender ends. Apologize for the lighting in here. Once I finish this thing, then we'll get a chance to really see it. You can see kind of to the top, and then just overall the hood all the way across. There are some rock chips in the hood which kind of come through the vinyl, but that's expected whenever you're wrapping your car, so not too bummed out by it. Alright, well, there's some progress going here. Just did the other side. I mean, it came out pretty clean. Don't mind the eyelid, that's going to get redone. But if you look on the outsides of it, it's not too bad. Again, that's super clean. I kind of got it tucked under there. Same with the wheel well. Again, same situation. Have it tucked underneath and behind the fender liner. So then it really stays. So just to give you an idea, so this part comes out and I have it basically tucked in, and then when I put the screws on, it's going to be looking pretty good. And again, looking real clean there under the molding. And then up here towards the top, it's looking pretty nice. So I mean, it's not too bad. I would say for me, there's a little nick there, but I think that's a piece of vinyl I just need to trim off, but looking good. Alright, so I literally just finished glossing over probably the hardest part of the car, because with the Q50s, to get like this side window trim, you basically need like about maybe 10-foot piece, which I was able to also salvage the doors, which is going to be what I'm going to use for the bottom. But I cut out the bottom portion, again molded it to the top here. Now I'm going to get ready to start cutting this shortly, but it's just all of this is one big piece all the way down to the end of the rear fender there. So It came out pretty good. So far it's looking good. There's no imperfections, which I'm just completely surprised. All this extra overhang, everything past this line is the rear bumper, so that's all gonna get cut off. And then, yeah. The hardest piece on this car is pretty much finalized. Now I just gotta trim it out, tuck it in. It's gonna be fun to do the other side. Not looking forward to it because this part was hard. And I am doing it by myself, which adds to the difficulty. Alright, so finished product, finally finished cutting, trimming, tucking. So here's kind of the end there, or where it starts. And then just going right up over. I mean, I'm really just surprised with how well this went. And then, again, I kind of forgot this car has no door handles. So it's kind of hard to see, but I mean, I tucked it inside, so then there's no black showing whatsoever. Same story here. I mean, just to kind of give you the detail here that I got going on. I'm going to do kind of one final check. And everything else turned out pretty clean cut. I got a pretty deep tuck in there. And then same with the tail light, I kind of got it in there and under the top, so there's no way of it really coming out unless you purposefully try to take it off when it's time. And then coming down here again, kind of gives you an idea of the cut. It's a little dark over here, but let me see if I can get a light shined up. So here's kind of an idea of the cut. And then the wheel well too. I got it basically tucked up underneath, going down here. And then I'll open the back door to get a chance to see. So here's kind of that. Kind of ran into just a little bit of a little ripple there, but again, that's kind of where the door is going to hold it. But I mean, overall, keep in mind this is my first time wrapping a whole car, so there's going to be, of course, minor imperfections, if anything. So, you know, I'm not 100% magnificent with wrapping cars, and especially 10-foot pieces of vinyl that basically are all on my own. But we'll keep going. Alright, so another quick update here. I got the front doors in and the rear doors. So nothing crazy challenging on the rear. The front, however, was a little bit challenging, and I even messed up a little bit. But again, I'm kind of learning as I go, especially since I'm still kind of getting used to doing a lot of these larger pieces. But here's kind of an idea of how it's looking like so far. As far as mistakes go, that's what I'm talking about. I created a very huge bubble here, and it ended up leaving to some fingering here. Don't worry about this, this is still something I'm trimming. But I made a mistake there. The other one, I learned from the mistake. As you can tell, the front door was my first door. This one I figured out what to do, and it came out, you know, just fine. These areas, again, I'm not too worried about because this is where the part of the door handle is going to sit, so it's going to cover any of that that's hanging out there. So, but yeah, it's coming together. It's looking almost like a factory finish here. It's kind of impressive to even my standards too, because again, first time wrapping a car, but basically you're already seeing it's a blue, cosmic blue Q50. It's looking beast. Alright, just to give you an idea of what ended up happening on the other side. So I'm wrapping the passenger side. So this is pretty much how I have to lay out this giant sheet of vinyl. Basically extending it out to here. I have my little hooks to help keep things in place. I already had a chunk kind of cut off just because I had to get a piece of the back door. So I'm going to try to see if I could save this giant piece towards the bottom for at least one of the doors. And then, you know, I'll try to salvage as much material as I can out of this. But this is pretty much like the layout, and then the clean cut and glossing out is going to come right after. So I'll kind of do like an after of this as well. Alrighty, finished product here. Again, get an idea of those cuts, those tuckings. Again, everything from that giant monster piece to this little piece, I guess. I was able to salvage some of the material again for the doors, but again, it's looking pretty good. I was really just impressed with the gas cap, I'm not even gonna lie. I initially thought I was gonna just do this as like cutting out the gas cap and rewrapping it by itself, but I'm just like, you know what, let me try and get creative and just do the sheet that was already over it. And again, you can see it's looking pretty mint, like out of the factory, which I'm just really satisfied with how that looks. And then here again is the tail light section, and then you kind of get towards the bottom of this rear fender. Got again the wheel well, got it tucked in there nice and tight so it doesn't get loose or anything. But yeah, it's looking good. Alright, so as you can see, the passenger side is basically all done. Now I just cut my piece for the roof itself. I got it anchored down for now, again just making sure the measurement of the piece is long enough. So we'll kind of go from there to get this molded and cut out and shaped to the roof. So I do have the sunroof open right now, so I'm gonna just kind of cut enough into it again to give me that extra slack to work with, and then again give myself a little bit so then I can kind of tuck it inward underneath the sunroof itself so then it doesn't peel off. So let's do it. Alright, so everything again is kind of finishing touches at this point, where I wrapped the door handles, I plugged everything back together. For that front door handle, I basically waited till the very last minute when I was done with the car to put all the wiring together. But here's again another shot of the rear door. I chose to keep it all blue because I felt like it would look nicer. But since they're so easy to take off now, I can always make them black if anything. Alright, well, probably the most annoying part of this car is finally done, is this stupid bumper. I basically had to do it into a couple pieces because I tried to do it with one piece. It was just way too difficult. So I ended up just doing it into two pieces. It's not perfect. Or not two pieces, a few pieces, I'm sorry. But, oh my god. This thing is just so ridiculous. So you can kind of see I have a seam there and a seam towards the bottom there because I had to do like an inlay type of a deal there. But again, it's finally done and I'm so happy. This is also like an extra day that I had to take to do this thing. So for this part, this is when I finished putting everything together as far as all the taillights, all the wiring. So I'm just really checking to make sure I didn't break anything, I didn't tear any of the wires. So I get in to just test the brakes, put it in reverse just to see if the reverse lights work. So everything worked, which was just happy for me to see that. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. You'll see me stumbling out, just absolutely tired, and I love that there's a piece of vinyl just stuck to the back of my shirt. Well, I'm so happy to say that it is officially done. Oh my god, it has been quite the freaking journey to do this freaking car, man. But it is done. I just finished putting all the trunk parts back together, the bumpers back together, the doors back together. I just put everything on this car back together. My fingers are just killing me. For a one-man job, this is freaking difficult, but I guess I managed to do it. I managed to get it done, so I promise more videos of this thing in the daylight and not in this cocoon of a garage. I'm just so eager to finally put everything else on, like my diffuser, my trunk lip, my front lip. But all of that will come probably with a little more time once I just get little things cleaned up, like my diffuser and spoiler. That's all going to get redone. So once that's done, then it's going back on this car. So definitely stoked. So this concludes my very first car wrap. A total of probably 7 days, combining maybe 30 plus hours of work, blood, sweat, and many heat gun burns to make this thing happen. It's not perfect. There's some challenges I had to face and some mistakes that I made where I'm gonna end up correcting those. Like the front bumper, my focus and my goal is to redo it at one point and make it one solid piece. As I mentioned, it is made of a couple pieces. And then same with the roof. I had some wrinkles there because I tried to wrap it with the antenna on. Again, learning as I go, better would have been better to again remove the antenna. So I know this for the future, and then when it comes to redoing these pieces, that's what I'm going to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks again for watching this video. It's really been a lot of work, but again, I'm just glad it's done, and it looks really nice.